It's Wednesday, May 10th at about 9:40 in the morning, and we're going on another adventure. We're heading back to southwestern Ontario and to Point Pelee National Park once again. We were there last fall and we weren't going to come back this early, but we haven't been down to the point there for probably quite a few springs. So we thought we'd come back this spring and check it out. Our next stop will be where we're going to camp tonight at Wheatley Provincial Park. Well, we decided not to bring the dogs along this time. We have taken them many times before, but it just becomes a large workload wherever you go, having to deal with the dogs, bringing them in and out and taking them on the day-long hikes and all that kind of stuff, especially in the spring down at Point Pelee where it's so busy with people on the trails. So we decided to leave them at home, and our son's taking care of them, so they're in good hands, and they'll probably enjoy it there better really anyhow, instead of sitting in the back of the car for so much of the day. Well, it's about 10 after 11 in the morning and we're just passing Presqu'île Provincial Park along Highway 401 here. Just a progress report. Well, it's 1:21 now and we've battled our way through Toronto. We actually took the toll road around Toronto, so it wasn't too bad, but still a long time. And at this point, I start wondering why the heck I left home and came on this trip, because it would have been far easier just to go bird watching in our backyard. But people are crazy, I guess, and here we are, just passing Puss Lynch and heading for an en route gas station to stop and get gas and get out and walk around a bit, because we haven't really stopped once yet. So we've been sitting here since 9:30, so 4 hours, and now we're going to take a bit of a break, just 6 kilometers or 7 kilometers up here. Here we are at the Imperial Diner in Leamington. Just ordered our supper at 6:30 and it's been a long day. We're tired and just wanted to come out here and eat a bit. Here's our campsite at Wheatley. There weren't a lot of campsites available. We were lucky to get one. We had reserved it before we came down, but it was pretty well booked. So it's about 8 o'clock and we're just walking around Wheatley Provincial Park in the evening here, enjoying some nice evening birding. Had quite a few species added up here so far tonight. Just had a couple nice white egrets cruising along the shoreline here of this bay. And we've had 4 types of swallows, lots of orioles and red-winged blackbirds, grackles, another egret, 3 egrets. Well, it's about 7:45 in the morning and we're here at Point Pelee. We arrived about an hour ago or so and the main parking lot was full. So we had to park at the Laurier Trail parking lot, and now we're working our way down south towards the point gradually here. It's a beautiful morning, sunny and 16 degrees and lots of bird life. Apparently you had to get here at 6:30 to get a parking space, 6:15. Or 6:15 to get a parking space at the main parking lot. In spring at Point Pelee, bird watchers are found on all the trails. This is a photograph of a scarlet tanager, a male, in the bright red plumage with the black wings. And of course the Baltimore oriole is a beautiful bird in bright orange. Its relative, the orchard oriole, is a much darker orange color, almost black in some situations. A white-throated sparrow pausing on the local tree. The rare Kentucky warbler, we waited here for 20 minutes just to get this one glimpse of the bird, and it's a poor photo, but at least a shot. Another scarlet tanager, lighting up the blue sky. The northern water thrush is normally a secretive little bird, but this one fed right along the trail while many bird watchers watched on, much to their delight. The beautiful Carolinian prothonotary warbler, a very rare bird, also fed right alongside the trail to the delight of the onlooking bird watchers. Gave us beautiful views of its golden and blue plumage. This is a very tame red-winged blackbird that just came walking down the trail. Walked right up to us. Came over to look at our hands. Never seen one so tame. Well, it's 10:48 and we've been having a pretty good morning so far. Best things so far include Kentucky warbler and prothonotary warbler, which we got on our way down from the Delorier Trail parking lot, halfway to Tilden Woods, I guess. Really nice to see those two species. Arriving at the tip, we were greeted with a nice gray catbird, and 3 ruddy ducks sailed offshore. The birders were all gathered at the point looking for anything unusual, and a common grackle was also hanging around. Walking up West Beach Trail, we saw a nice brown thrasher. And then an eastern kingbird came out to see us. A least flycatcher hung around in the low shrubs. And then a black and white warbler came around to look at us up close. The warblers were very abundant. This is a black-throated green warbler, and the Blackburnian warbler, like a miniature Baltimore oriole in some respects. Chestnut-sided warbler, Parula warbler, Swainson's thrush, Cape May warbler, orchard oriole once again, and a relaxing gray squirrel. Later in the afternoon, we went to Hillman Marsh to observe waterfowl, and were met with huge numbers of black-bellied plover, which was a treat to see. In amongst the big flock there was a golden plover. And we also had lesser yellowlegs, semi-palmated plover, and we were lucky enough to see the Wilson's phalarope that was hanging out there for a few days. Thursday, May 11th at 8 o'clock in the evening, and we've just completed our first busy day birding Point Pelee National Park and Hillman Marsh Conservation Area, walking basically non-stop from 6:45 or so till 4 o'clock. And now we've come back to the campground, had supper, cleaned the dishes, and now we're just getting ready to hit the sack after a long, tiresome day. It's hard for me to believe sometimes that this is 51 years now since I came down to Pelee for my first trip back in 1972 with a bunch of friends of mine. And I can't believe that that much time has passed. And we actually stayed in this little park, Wheatley Provincial Park, just east of Point Pelee too. In those days we came down in a big station wagon with a leader that brought us down from our local naturalist club, himself and about 10 other young teenage boys, and we came down here looking for birds and other nice creatures at Point Pelee for a weekend. A long trip for a very fast outing, but we all appreciated the fact we could get down here when a lot of us still couldn't even drive yet. So it was a great time to come down and see this Carolinian part of Canada. And I still remember we set up a couple old tents to sleep in, and the weather wasn't all that great. It was pretty good, I guess, but I think we had some cold, rainy periods, if I remember right, intermixed with sunshine and warmth. But it was a very exciting time for a bunch of young amateur naturalists to get out into a different part of Ontario.